Hey guys, it's your girl Patience Noah Fuller, and welcome back to Entrepreneurship Tea, where we are talking about our entrepreneurship journey. We are also talking about the missed opportunities, okay? Because if you don't handle those missed opportunities, okay, they can become failures. And then we are talking about our successes, be it big, small, medium, large, whatever it is, we're here for it. Later on, I'll be bringing my friends who are entrepreneurs, and hopefully some of my clients may join me on this podcast journey as well to talk about their experiences so that they can inspire those who are deep in the trenches of being an entrepreneur right now. Because for those of you that are going through it, you all know that sometimes it can be very, very lonely, and sometimes it could be very challenging and you want to give up. But I'm going to be bringing those who will share their experiences with you to help you with the journey. And then those who are aspiring, or those who want to become an entrepreneur, hopefully you will be inspired, okay? And you will want to jump the ship and join us into the world of entrepreneurship, okay? So that's what this podcast is all about. Now, if you're here for the first time, just go back to the other videos that I've done. I've done videos on basically my early days where I grew up, and then into my younger days when I was a teenager and things like that. My side hustle, or my hustle, I called it. And then also when I graduated college, I went into the insurance industry, and now I am an independent insurance agency owner. I own an insurance agency called Patience Noah Insurance, where we focus on small to mid-sized businesses, providing them with anything from general liability to workman's comp to group benefits, you name it, we provide it for them. And then we also do offer auto and home and life insurance too for those who are looking for it. But majority of our clients, about 86% of our clients, are small to mid-sized businesses, okay? So let's get into this week, okay? So from the last video, you heard my journey about how I went from being a captive, okay, to becoming an independent agency owner, okay? Now, for my new folks, or if this is your first time hearing the podcast, a captive is someone who represents just one insurance company, okay? And an independent insurance agency owner is someone who works with multiple insurance companies. They partner with multiple insurance companies. Usually those who sort of provide the same products that they do, share similar values. And the purpose of an independent insurance agency owner is basically the clients is the focal point of their agency, okay? That's the difference. That's all it is, okay? So I started off small. I started off with as a captive agent. I realized that the captive model wasn't working for me, and I transitioned into being an independent insurance agency owner, okay? So when I became an independent insurance agency owner, there was this it's called aggregator or cluster, whatever you might call it, okay? It's basically a group that had they partner with multiple insurance companies, mostly independent agency. So they had contracts with insurance companies, because when you're small, the challenge that we have as insurance agencies or independent insurance agency owners, when you're new in the business or when you're small, a lot of companies don't want to do business with you, right? A lot of companies want to see like a certain level of books on your a certain level of business on your books before they might have an appointment with you, okay? Some people might say, oh, we need you to have at least $2 million on your books before we appoint you, right? Or we need you to have $500,000 on your books, right? Or on your books. Now, what does that mean? Let me explain that to those of you who don't understand, okay? So when you guys come and you pay a premium, like when we give you a policy, the premium or the price that you pay on that policy, that goes to the insurance company, okay? So that's called your premium, okay? So the insurance companies, they basically score us by how much premium we can write with them, how much business we can bring to them, the volume of business that we can bring to them, okay? So they basically try to see, okay, how much volume can you give my company, okay, within the year, within 6 months, within 5 days, all of that. It all depends from company to company. Some companies, they may look at your business plan, okay? They may look at your business plan and say, okay, we see potential in you, okay? And we see where you're coming from. We see the experiences that you have. So even though you're new, okay, we will make an exception and give you an appointment anyways, okay? So again, it all depends on all these different companies. Everybody has their own requirements. Everybody has their own thing that, guidelines that you have to meet as an independent agency before they start working with you, okay? So when I started like dead in the heat of COVID. I went independent in 2021. So at that time, everything was at a standstill. Nobody was really giving appointments out like that anyways to anyone. So I became a part of I guess cluster. Is it a cluster? I don't know. But again, they have appointments with more companies. Okay, so I would use their platform to write customers' policies, okay, and then they will share my commission with me. But what I really loved about that contract was the book that I was writing. The book belongs to me, okay. And then also, what was great about that contract, I had the liberty to be a part of any other group that I wanted. And then I also had the liberty to get appointment with any other company I wanted or any other insurance company I wanted outside of them. Okay. The only time the contract came into place was if they helped me get an appointment through their recommendation, if they helped me get an appointment, okay, or through their recommendation, if I wrote a business through their platform, right, then that's when we will share the commissions, okay. So I decided to go with them. I thought it was a great place to start, so I started writing with them in the beginning. So when I started, it was just me, my laptop, and my phone, and I was operating out of my apartment. Okay, I had a PO box, a mailing address outside of my apartment, and then at the time it was COVID, so nobody was going to offices anyways, and then insurance companies were not requiring that you have an office anymore. I mean, right now that's not the case. You need to have an office for them to give you an appointment. Again, it varies from company to company. I don't know what the rules are out there anymore. I've been in this for 5 years now, so I don't know what it's like for newer guys that are coming into it. Okay, so I started off in my apartment, and I had my phone with me. So most of my clients, they would just give me a call and ask me to do a policy for them, and I would do it, and I would present it to them over the phone. Now, let me pause here and just touch on something. Coming into owning an insurance agency, because I had an experience as a marketing rep where I will go from agency to agency and try to help them grow with the carrier that I was working with at the time. I knew the model that I wanted once I got to the place where I would become an agency owner, or where I would become an independent insurance agency owner. Okay, now, I had people that you have people I had agencies that you have people that were waiting in line to come and pay their bills, okay, and people would come and pay with cash and things like that, right? So for me, I wanted a cash-free agency, meaning you cannot come into the office to come pay with cash. No. So everybody had to pay either through your insurance company directly online, or I would send you a payment link for you to make a payment, okay? But we were not handling cash at the time, okay? So, and then I also wanted people who just really wanted to do work virtually. So most of my clients, we work with them virtually. Now, if a client wants to come and meet up with me, I either go to their office or they can come to my office. I have an office now, okay? But this was like the beginning stages, but then this was what I wanted, right, in the long run. during COVID, obviously nobody was coming to no one's office. They will call me and I'll send them the quote. But for me, in the long run, I didn't want an office that folks would be lining up to pay their bills and things like that, right? I wanted people that, hey, if you want to pay your bills, we'll send you this link or let's send you here, right? I wanted the customer service process to be mostly virtual, right? Now, if it comes to the point where you want us to meet face to face or you want to come into the office now at this point, absolutely, you can come to my office, okay? But then that's what I wanted, okay? So when I started, I was in my apartment, I was writing for people online, and mostly I was doing ordering. Now, let me pause again and touch on something. When I started, I wanted to start small, okay? I wanted to start small so that I can learn about the business, so that I can learn about being a business owner and just work my way up, okay? There's nothing wrong with starting small. Everybody's different. The reason why I wanted to start small is because, one, I felt like this was an industry that I didn't know. Even though I had been in the industry for a long time, I didn't know, I didn't understand, I didn't know what it's like to run a business. So I wanted to do things small. I wanted to start small. I wanted to crawl, right? If you watch the last episode, there's I used the word crawl before you walk, right? And then also, I wasn't trying to impress anyone. I was not trying to compete with anybody. I mean, although we're in a competitive business, at the end of the day, I really wasn't trying to compete with nobody though, because I wanted to be my own lane. I knew the type of agency that I wanted to have, okay? And I knew the type of business that I wanted. And sometimes, if you come into this thing like, oh, I'm going to go and compete with people, yes, competitors are there, especially if you're in a highly competitive industry. Yes, it's there. But at the end of the day, don't go into it with a mindset that you're going to go compete with people. And I think I'm going to do a separate video on competition and things like that, and just staying in your own lane and things like that. I will touch on that at a different time. But I wanted to just do my own thing, stay in my own lane, and just not try to impress anybody, okay? So I opened my agency, started off with just me. And then eventually I had a young lady that started helping me, okay? And then I started to grow, and now I have other staff that's helping me, okay? Now, when I started, there were a few things that I did that I just want to caution if you're new as an entrepreneur, that I want to caution you on, okay? When I started, I didn't have boundaries in place. Now, what do I mean by that? I was one of those people that people were texting me at 11 o'clock at night, asking me about their policies, and I'll respond to them, okay? I was one of those people, on Sundays, after church, people were asking me about their insurance policies, and I would try to answer them, right? So for me, because I didn't have this boundary in place, I felt like people were taking advantage of that, okay? And one thing I would say in your beginning stages, definitely set boundaries in place. And now, what does those boundaries look like? It could be, okay, my office hours are 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. or 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Okay. Maybe I might stretch it, or I might respond to people until 8 o'clock. But after 8 o'clock, that is a hard stop for me, and I'm not going to respond to anybody. Okay, maybe I'm open 7 days a week, or I'm open 4 days a week, or I'm open, 6 days a week, right? You choose, so that customers or clients get used to what your schedule are, okay? So that customers get used to what your boundaries are. Now, if you don't train people, right, or if you don't set these boundaries in place, if you get to the point you start setting the boundaries in place, people now will start saying, oh, you're changing up on us, okay? And that's really what happened with me. Because in the beginning, I didn't have these boundaries set in place. So people started, once I started putting boundaries in place, people started saying that I was changing up on them, which I totally understand. But again, I was new and I didn't know what to do, okay? So I have boundaries in place now, okay? When people see me at church on Sunday, they'd be trying to talk about policies. I'm like, why don't you call me on Monday so we can talk about that? Okay? Why don't you call me on Monday so we can talk about that? And then also when someone texts me after business hours. And then also this too is different. Like, because I mostly work with business owners now, 86% of my business are like small to mid-sized businesses. Because I work with business owners now, I don't have anybody like messaging me at like 11 o'clock at night anymore. But when I used to do a lot of auto and home, I definitely had people who would text me about their auto and home, or people who would see me at a cookout and they want to be asking me about their insurance policies. I'm like, dude, I got dressed to come to this cookout and enjoy myself. So did you. Like, why are we talking about like your auto policy right now? I don't have my laptop with me. Do you think I remember what your policy is about? So, but when I was like in my early stages, I would be trying to answer people when they see me out at these outings and trying to talk about their policies and things like that, right? Now, obviously, I'm not going to shunt the person. I will try to give them like a summary or an overview of what I think is going on. If I don't remember anything about your file, I just tell you, hey, give me a call on Monday, or call the office on Monday and somebody will be able to assist you, or somebody will be able to provide an answer for you. But now that I mostly deal with business owners, I don't have anybody reaching out to me on Saturdays and Sundays or like after business hours. There are some cases I do work late and things like that, okay? So set boundaries, okay? Set them in place at an early stage so that people can get used to you, okay? And then also your price. I mean, for those of us that are in insurance, now let me tell you guys this. We as insurance agencies, we don't have control over the price. We don't. Let me say that again. Insurance agents don't have control over the price. When you call us, we take the information that you give us, okay, and we plug it in a system. And the system runs reports, okay? Based on the reports that's out there, it spells out numbers to us. And that number, we take that number and we read it back to you, okay? Now, of course, if you get to a certain level, like now that I'm dealing with like mostly businesses and things like that, there's definitely accounts or policies that are over a certain like threshold that some underwriters, it becomes a price war, right? They want to know what do you have for the price, right? So that they can try to beat it, okay? But if your account is in certain threshold, we can't control what the pricing is. We cannot. It's the insurance companies that have set those prices and we just read it back to you, okay? So I just want you guys to know that, because sometimes people do call us and they're like, oh, why did you do my insurance? Like, why is my insurance so high? Blah, 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 and all of that, right? And I get it. Right now, insurance pricing is just it's ridiculous right now. And let me give you guys another tip, okay? Although insurance premiums are high, our commissions are low, okay? So don't think that the insurance companies are paying us so much money, okay? Because a lot of carriers now, they've lowered their commissions, okay? Because of what's happening in the industry right now, all the disasters that's happening in the industry. And we were touching on this, okay, at the time. But I'm just giving you an overview of what happens when you go into an insurance agency or an insurance company, or when you're dealing with a company that's different. I'm not telling you from a company's point of view. I'm telling you from an agent's point of view, okay? So we don't control the price out there. I just want you guys to know that, okay? So yeah. So back to, I kind of like went off on a tangent there. But yeah, I started off small. So when I started off small, okay? And then I started working with auto and home, but then eventually I transitioned. I don't do as much of auto and homes anymore. Most, like I said, 86% of my business are small to mid-sized businesses. Those are the people that I deal with on a regular basis. And anyone that needs auto, home, general liability, professional liability, workman's comp, group benefits. Those are the people that we work with at my agency to provide them what they need. Okay. Now, obviously, this is what I've grown into in the last 4 to 5 years. Okay. But when I started, I was doing mostly auto and home. For me, auto and home clients, okay, it's just a lot of work, like too much work, too much work. Okay. So I do that, but not as much anymore. Okay. It's not like a bulk of my business anymore. Okay. Started off small, and then eventually I started hiring people and hiring people and hiring people. Okay. And now I have about 4 support staff. Is it 4? No, 3 support staff. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 support staff. And I am looking to bring someone on board hopefully soon. Okay. So yeah. So when you get started, it's okay to start off small, right? It's okay not to be in competition with nobody. And I will go into details as we go into these videos because I don't want to make these videos long, right? Start off small. You don't have to impress anybody, okay? And it's okay for you to start with something. And then if you realize that that thing is not for you, or you don't want to deal with that aspect of the business, you leave that aspect and move and start doing another aspect. Okay, because like I told you guys, I started doing a lot of auto and home, but I don't do them anymore. Most of the clients that I have are small to mid-sized businesses. Okay, that's okay because as I grow over time, okay, I know the type of business that I want to run, right, in the long run. So if I'm doing something that I feel like, okay, this in the long run is not going to align to my ultimate vision or my ultimate goal, I just slowly kind of like deviate from that and just stop, and again, I don't stop altogether. I just start doing less and less of that and start doing more and more of what I want, or more and more of what fits into my ultimate goal. Okay. So that's what I'm doing now, and that's how I started. Okay. So when you start, again, just know what your ultimate goal is, right? When I started, I knew I wanted to open an independent agency. Okay. And I knew I wanted to open a commercialized independent agency where a majority of my clients are commercialized. I feel like I'm achieving that at where 86% of my clients are commercial clients. I do want about maybe 90% of my clients to be commercial clients. Okay. That's the type of business I do want to run. And then, of course, as I scale and grow, who knows, maybe through acquisitions and things like that, I can have more personalized clients as I go along. But for me, the long-term goal for me is to have a commercial agency. Okay. Now, this is how I went about starting to basically get into the whole thing. That's how I started. I started small, and now 3 support staff with the hope of adding a 4th one. Okay. And then I have producers that I'm partnering with. Right now, I have one that's about to go into licensing training, but I'll talk about that producer because that's a special producer for me. So I talk about him another time. And then I have other producers that I'm partnering with that are working to bring business in for us to do business into the agency. Okay. Producers are basically sales folks. They only focus on sales aspect of it. They don't focus on servicing. So that's why I have the support staff, because they focus on the service aspect of it. Okay. But yeah, that's basically how I have gone about my business or how I'm going about my business. Okay. I hope this episode, you find this episode helpful with your journey. For those of you guys that have been giving me feedback, continue to give me those feedbacks, because sometimes, I do need that little encouragement, because this thing is commitment and it's work. Okay. Doing a podcast is commitment and it's extra work, but it helps when you know that people are being inspired by the information that you're putting out there. And if you're out there and you are a business owner and you need insurance, I am currently licensed to write business. I'm focusing on in Massachusetts, in Rhode Island, and in Connecticut at this time. Okay. So please give me a call. Actually, Jersey. I'm licensed in Jersey as well. I'm licensed in Maryland as well. So give me a call, and I would love to help you with your business policy, so we can get a policy in place for you. Okay, give me a call. Again, my agency's name is Patience Noah Insurance. I don't know if I said that in the beginning, but I own it. My independent agency's name is Patience Noah Insurance, okay? And we focus on small to mid-sized businesses, offering them with general liability, professional liability, workers' comp, group benefits, you name it. And then also, we don't want to leave the individuals out there, so we do auto and home and life insurance as well, okay? So give me a call, okay? And if you are new to Entrepreneurship Tea, please give us a thumbs up, okay? Share. If you feel like somebody might be inspired by this video, share it, okay? And then also continue to follow us because there are more stories to come, okay? All right, thank you. Bye. See you.